Hey folks, this is Mike Tango Whiskey coming at you again with another. I think I'm going to call these hurt feeling reports. Hurt feelings report. So this would be hurt feeling report number two. Um, I think I'm going to do this every Sunday night just to kind of give an update on my channel until I'm not able to, and then also to go through comments, good and bad, and give credit where credit's due, see what I can learn, and yeah. All right, let's get started. My wife and kids are already in bed, so I was able to sneak back out here. This is all I'm already spending way too much time out here, so talking to strangers, but whatever. I'm having fun. Um, my channel's growing. So just to give you kind of an update, I think I did my last Hurt Feelings report 3 days ago, and I was at 250 subscribers. Tonight, I hit 800. So I'm just over 800 subscribers. Um, I don't want to click out of this because then I'll leave the comments and I don't know what I'm doing. But I think I'm at like total watch time, like 30 something thousand total views, and then that watch time number. So you need 1,000 subscribers and the watch time number of 4,000 to get monetized. And I think I'm at 2,000, 2.2 thousand. So maybe another couple weeks, I'll hit that 4,000. And to be honest, I don't even know really what that means. Monetize means you join the partner program and then you're able to put ads on your videos and you get paid. Maybe I don't want to do that. I don't know. Do I immediately want to become like someone in the comments? I'm sure they had the best intentions. They're like, you should get an affiliate page on Amazon. And don't get me wrong, I'm here to get views and engagement and hopefully do this and have it be an income for me or supplemental income for sure. But I don't know. I mean, that's a goal. That'd be cool. I remember listening to Casey Neistat. He's got like millions and millions of followers. I followed him like 10 years ago. Was watching his stuff. He said he had like 1 million subscribers before he ever monetized, but I don't know. I don't know. More to come. That's a spiritual struggle that you guys don't have to. Maybe Sunday night is the time you do have to listen to that. You won't hear that in any of the other videos, but it's funny. I told my son, one of my sons, about this, my number four, and he's my third oldest son and number four child. But he goes, "Hey, Dad, be sure you pray about it. Like you're grounded." No, uh, that yes, yeah, right. Um, Solid head on that kid's shoulder. So I appreciate you, Isaiah. He's probably not watching this, but anyway. So we're going to go through some of the comments. I scrolled back about 3 days so I wouldn't hit any of the same comments from the last Hurt Feelings report. You're a heretic after says, okay, this channel is for me. Once I posted that last Hurt Feelings report. So that's cool to hear, kind of, this is where I kind of spill my guts a little bit and get a little bit of, I don't know, transparency, vulnerability. So that's good to hear in response. It says, you're a heretic after my own heart. My head screams whenever I hear about people loading up for the worst possible thing in their home, in their bags. Yeah, I hope that this channel is a little bit of not that. So there were a lot of comments about how to deal with trolls, like negative, because that video was about that. And here's my view. I know that sometimes people are just being jerks to be jerks, and there's not really a lot you can do to appease those folks. But I think all negative comments, I think you can learn something from them. And here's what I mean. If somebody goes 2 minutes into my video and they take one thing that I say and then they launch off on a comment that's like, this guy doesn't know what the hell he's talking about, he's dumb, he's stupid, maybe I wasn't clear enough up front, right? There is a chance. I mean, there's a chance they're a jerk no matter what, but there's also a chance that I was not as clear as I should have been or could have been. I don't know if you all have noticed, but I don't edit any of these. I don't. If I had to stop and edit these videos, I wouldn't do them. So this is all ad lib. I don't stop it. I don't cut it. I don't edit it. I don't do any of that stuff. So this is like a one-shot deal. So there are times where I'm not as clear as I should be. I don't cover all the points that I should. And afterwards, I'm like, oh, I should have done this. I should have done it. But I'm not going back. I'm not going back to edit or to change. Today, I posted a video where my ID actually flipped open in my wallet. I did go back and put a blur on that, which is a cool feature on YouTube that I didn't even know about. So I was like, maybe I should probably blur that, right? But other than that, I think there's something I can learn from even the negative comments, whatever it was that I said or did that triggered them, maybe I can make an adjustment, not necessarily to make them happy, but maybe I could be more clear or more succinct or consider another opinion or whatever. I think I could probably learn something from most of these comments, even if they are legitimate trolls, right? Because I have a tendency to be a troll too. Everyone's situation is just different. Your bag scares me because I work 40 minutes from the interstate. According to Google Maps, it's a 20-hour walk home. I'm 300 pounds, and this guy goes on to talk about like his physical struggles. That's a tough one, man. I mean, you know, yeah, my advice or my take, it's not going to be for everybody. I mean, this guy's hopefully he's on a journey to better health, and his bag would look different than mine. But 20 hours walking at that weight, that'd be tough. It'd be tough. Lives in a populated area. You assume too much. By the way, that pick is not getting in any lock cylinder. You may want to look up some lock picking videos. Yeah, so I've done a little bit of lock picking. Some people have wanted to see the lock picking kit. So I can pick a lock. It just takes me longer and I'm not patient. So I prefer bypass tools. Bypass tools are tools that get around the cylinder. So the lock picking is messing with the actual cylinder inside the lock with the pins, and I can do that. It takes me a lot of time and it's very frustrating for me and I get impatient. So I prefer bypass tools, like tools that work on the latch or go under the door, or like the wedges and it's just more expedient. And rather than go to the front door and like find and pull out my lock kit and and do it, I would rather walk around the building and find a door that the traveler's pick would work on. And a lot of times you can do that. You can find another way in using a bypass tool, which is in my mind simpler and faster. But hiking boots video I was looking for, completely agree. Same situation. That's good. Negative comments, never wrestle a pig. They'll just drag you down into the mud. Okay. Situational, depends on the location. Yes, yes. You know what I realized too? So I've had this channel for 8 days, and my first couple videos, I wasn't clear. I wasn't, there's lots of things that I missed or messed up. But those are out there forever. Like people that may be the only video people see is that of that bag. Hey, don't put these things in your get home bag, right? Where my critique is like, you'll never build a fire and you'll never, lots of presumptions, lots of kind of bravado. But that may be the only thing they ever see. So even though over time my videos are probably going to get better, I will get more clear, more succinct, more I'll get better at presenting this information to you. That stuff will still exist. So someone may stumble upon that video from, let's say it's 5 years from now. They may stumble upon the first or second video that I did and go, this guy is a dummy. He doesn't know what he's doing, right? I guess that's the internet. That's the nature of the internet. Once you put something on there, you open yourself up to that critique, and it's on there forever. They may never know if you have evolved or if you've grown or if you've gotten smarter or better, because they may never watch another video. So it's very likely that, I don't know, if I do this for 5 or 10 years, I may be coming back to these, still getting comments on these videos from 5 or 10 years ago, because that's the only thing they ever found. But I guess this hurt feelings report is an attempt to rectify some of those things, because I'm so lazy about editing and I'm better at having a conversation. I think down the road, these Sunday nights these hurt feeling reports may turn into lives. But I'm also kind of scared of lives, because I've watched lives where there's like 2 people watching, and that hurts my heart. Like I, I don't know. It's like being the last kid picked on the field. I don't know if I want to go through that. Start a live and there's like 2 people in there, but I am better at conversation, responding to comments and stuff like that than I am going back and trying to polish up a message, and fine tune it. So get home bag is situational. More talk about Detroit. That bag would look dramatically different. Totally agreed. I've been waiting for a proper survivalist, hiker, tactical ninja hybrid. Yes. So that was in response to my comment about the hunting community and the hiking community, how much we can learn from them, because they do the thing that we say we want to do. They do it for many hours, many reps. Well thought out bag. Disagree and agree. I'm still here. I'm part of that fat curve, right? I think so. The advice on YouTube is to find your niche or your niche, and I think I'm doing that. I think that my niche, and in fact, I changed my description. Instead of the prepping channel, I said it was the prepping channel for the middle. I changed it to a prepping channel. It's less presumptuous. A prepping channel for those in the meaty part of the curve, right? We're not talking about, tier one operators. We're not talking about full-time off-grid hunter gatherer, Stone Age livers, that we're the people in the middle, right? Living in the suburbs, working a job. We've got families. I drive a minivan. I guess it's not very tactical. So I think these are my peeps. And I think that scope is kind of narrowing down. And the people that are subscribing seem to be commenting on that fact, right? So that's cool. That's cool. What's neat about that too is I don't have to pretend, because I know if this channel grows, what's going to happen. You start getting sponsors and you start getting all the stuff. And like Grand Thumb showed up one day and suddenly he had like sleeves of tattoos. My wife won't let me get tattoos, so I don't think that's going to happen. If it does, you guys can correct me, right? If I'm suddenly on here like shilling products and get all tactical ninja and getting sponsored, but you guys can call me out, okay? Because this is me saying I don't think I want to go there. That's not who I am, and it's kind of the inevitable march of YouTube, though, right? You'll see me struggle with that if this grows, but I don't know. That's kind of gross. I like the where it is because I've been as transparent, as honest as I can be so far, and it sets it up so I don't have to fake it. I don't want to fake it. I'm not good at faking it, and I hope that I don't get to a place where I am faking it. So this is the official. You guys call me out if that happens, okay? Oh, did I scroll to the top? Oh no. Okay, appreciate your content. Welcome aboard. Keep it coming. Don't get discouraged. There was a lot of those comments. That was great. I love that. This video appeared in my suggestions. I watched all the way. I like your approach. All what you said makes perfect sense. I'm not a prepper in the American sense. Again, kind of that meaty part of the curve. Keep going. The problem is not you. I agree. Just subscribed. I'll give you a shot. Most preparedness channels do not impress me, though. Many of them, this is a great comment, many of them just parrot each other, and oh boy, there's a lot of ground not covered by them. The most overlooked thing in preparedness is the importance of wood gasification. It's the first time I've heard of that. I think he means turning wood into fuel, which is pretty cool. He talks about a little bit about the combustion engines and stuff like that. It's above my head. That'd be cool to figure out. My biggest advice is not to become a product shill and do not delete comments. It cracks me up that all the preppers are ready to face the end of the world, yet they can't handle comments that don't align with their rhetoric. I'll see if I can find this one guy's comment. There was one guy who commented very early on, one of my first videos, and what did he say? He said, this guy seems like he works at a FEMA camp or whatever that was. I think I talked about that in the last Hurt Feelings report. But I responded and I said, me? Question mark, exclamation point. And then he said something, I forget what he said, so in an attempt, there's 3 dots off to the side of each comment. And I was trying, because this guy was obviously accusing me of something. So if I remember correctly, because I try to respond to every comment, so there's been a lot of them. But off to the side, you hit the 3 dots, and this little block appears that says edit or delete. And I was trying to edit my comment. I wanted to make it really spicy and saucy, like hit just right and cut him really deep, like he cut me, right? It was early on. It was first couple days. And I think, I deleted one of my comments, and I think it may have deleted his comment, because he came back a couple days later and he goes, that's why you've been deleting comments. He goes, but I took screenshots just in case. So that made me laugh so hard. So I was thinking, okay, that was like my first video on a brand new channel, and he's already taken screenshots of the comments. It made me think, like, is this a troll? Is this guy like a professional troll? Like that's what he does. But I also thought it was pretty cool that potentially I could already 2 days into my channel have an arch nemesis, like a guy that's like coming after me. So I don't know. Dude, if I did delete your comment, I didn't mean to. I'm not going to be one of those people. Um, if that happened, that will be the only time. I'll figure out how to edit my comments. And after that happened, like the dots, it was very confusing to me. So I stopped editing. I stopped trying to edit my comments, and I just keep them shorter and more succinct. But I'm not deleting comments. I don't really care. Like I said, very little shame. I'm enjoying myself, so I have no reason to delete comments. So that's a great comment that the guy said. Don't become one of those people shilling for stuff. I got to be honest though, I love the idea of people sending me free stuff because I'm cheap. But like right now in the way I am, I don't see a need for me to have, I don't know, let's say nods, right? Night vision. Plus, not only is it thousands of dollars and I refuse to spend that and I don't have it, but if like a company sent me free nods and they're like, hey, Mike, Tango Whiskey, can you talk about? So if you guys see me on here doing that, again, call me out. I don't, it's kind of gross. But then I think, am I setting myself up to never get any sponsors or never get any free stuff? Maybe. I want free stuff. Maybe are there companies in the meaty part of the curve, like bag companies? I don't know. Stainless steel water bottles. I'm gonna do a thing on water bottles. I will take water bottles because I already think like clean can. I already think stainless. Maybe that should be my approach, where I only take products that I already really enjoy. I don't know. Whatever. You guys keep me in check when it comes to that, okay? If it does that, if I start doing that stuff, do you unsubscribe because it's kind of gross. Appreciate your content. Don't get discouraged. I think I already read that one. Found your channel. I found it very interesting. Good information and things that make you go, Keep it up. I appreciate your content. That's great. As someone who has done YouTube for almost 7 years and lost one channel to people mass reporting me out of hate, I want to follow. He said, YouTube can be very toxic. Be careful, brother. Yeah, that's interesting. Like, what would I have to do to get people to report me? I don't know. Maybe politics or like, culture stuff. I mean, I have opinions on that stuff, but this is probably not the place for it. Plus, I still have a job. Like, I still work every day. I'm not going to put that in jeopardy right now. I want to talk about the stuff I'm super passionate about and interested in, and I don't really. I'll be honest. I'm like politically. I consider myself post-political. I think red and blue are both. Like people are like, I think it's a false dynamic. Like I don't. I think it's the illusion of choice. I think that red and blue is kind of like Pepsi and Coke. I think they both give you cavities and diabetes. No matter which side you pick, you're going to end up with rotten teeth. It just appears to me that like no matter who is in office, no matter where, we end up with less freedom, more debt, more war. I just, yeah, I'm kind of disconnected from the political scene. So if you guys see me getting political, then call me out too. Because that's really how I feel right now. Cut down on the trolls. This is actually good. You should say, this is my opinion, or this is what I'm doing with my bag or my gear. Keep going. I'm interested in more of your views on stuff. That's solid, right? And again, I admitted in the last video that you shouldn't put this in your. I probably will still do that in thumbnails, like don't do this, because that video got the most traffic. But then obviously tailoring it, and it's funny because I've seen YouTubers, Prepared Airmen and some other ones, and in the beginning they always do this long intro for me, for my situation, in my place, for me and what works for me. And now I realize why they're doing that. They're doing that because they got killed in the comments. People are like, that's not for me and my situation is different. And so people tend to open up with that large, and I even find myself doing that. And so I don't think that's a bad thing. It's true, right? Can I get on here as just some guy in his garage, telling people on the East Coast what to do? Someone in Detroit, what he should put in his bag? Like that's dumb, right? That's stupid. So I'll try not to do that. I think that's a good approach. It's a good posture of humility. Yeah, so that's good. This is good advice. Just join. Pay no attention to the folks behind the curtain. I got people from Australia and Tasmania. That was kind of a trip. I don't think I've gotten anybody from Europe yet. One guy asked me where I lived, and I told him the inland Northwest. And he was like, bro, I live in Australia. I don't know what that means. Like, I'm in Tasmania. So I had to tell him what that meant. I subscribe to your channel because I do fall in the meaty part of the curve. These are my peeps, right? And my job is 5 minutes from my car and my house. I'm in an urban area, so I know it well. You make a lot of good points in the other video I watched. I will be scaling back my get home bag. Most want to prep for only the doom and gloom SHTF scenarios. They don't realize that if everyone starts hunting for meat, the food source is going to dry up quickly. You help me think of alternatives in my own scenario. That's awesome, right? Negative comments, never wrestle a pig. I think I already read that one. First time viewer, 66, served in the Cold War, a lot of training, survived nuclear fallout. I see the chances a lot less. Disabled, fractured. Really nice channel, got bugs out here. You have this was great. This is a great comment. You have a calm, polite manner and a kind way of addressing each question. I appreciate that. Thank you, sir. Mark Edwards 6455. I'll only call out the good comments on here. That was encouraging to me. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. You know, this guy's got some physical limitations. He's got some damage to his body, probably from the war and all that. But yes, right. The standard kind of world of prepping really tailors to a pretty narrow swath of fit, younger. You know, I used to be that guy. I'm not that guy anymore. I think I told you this in the last video. I just turned 50. And even as I started collecting all this gear over the past few years, I recently started thinking, like, is there any scenario where me, not that people would be required to be in the woods, like in full kit, you know, doing the thing, gorillas, or even if that possibility existed in the West right now, I wouldn't be out there. I probably would not do that, right? Am I going to kit up and join a military? No, that's not going to happen. My wife wouldn't let me. So, like I got a family, you know what I mean? So like, what does prepping look like for me and these people in the middle, right? People that may be hurt, maybe disabled, maybe limited in some way. If you've got a wife and kids, I'm telling you, like, you should already be thinking that way a little bit. Hey, Mike, new to the channel, remote part of southeastern California. I'm originally from Cali too, SoCal. Keep it simple, 4x4s. If you have opposition, you're doing something right. That's cool. Thanks for your common sense approach. Living in the upper Midwest, that's good. Bag was a very realistic setup. This guy says, I started a prepping channel about 4 or 5 years ago, only made 6 videos. I'm a busy working dad. My get home bag video had 30,000 views, which was amazing. Most comments were positive, but a few take it very personal if they have a different perspective. Do what makes you comfortable. Don't try to make content based on all the criticism. You're telling a story, sir. Do what works for you. Thank you. That's good. Great comment. Hope you do well and your channel takes off. I'm not a prepper, but always good to have a get-home bag in case of an emergency, bad weather, or unrest. Keep a Bible in your boat. Go bag, brother. Yeah, I should know better. That was missing, right? I mean, I've got it on my phone. I know I'm a student of Scripture. I know a lot of Scripture, but man, that's blatantly bad on my part, right? If my wife sees this, she's gonna be like, "Where's your Bible?" Off-grid hunter. Insulting other commenters. Before I begin, I just want to say that this is purely my opinion. Writing this as I watched the video. Right from the start, you had my attention regarding navigation. So he comments on some of the other things on there. Gives me some happy belated birthday. That's pretty cool. Thanks again for making this video, taking time to respond to comments and explain things in more detail. Really enjoy your content so far. Looking forward to what you post next. It's great. It's encouraging. That's why I'm out here at 11:20 when I have to get up at 5:30 for work tomorrow. Never going to appease everyone. That's true. I understand that. As a trainer and a learning experience creator, I get that. I'm appealing to the 80%, right? Not going to be able to get everybody on board. Like you said, you're an expert in your situation. Yeah, I thought about that. People are like, "You're not an expert. You're not an expert." And that's true. I'm not an expert in your scenario, Mr. Detroit, or your scenario, East Coast Florida guy. Someone was like, what would you do if you had to cross brackish water? Like, I don't know what brackish meant. It's like a mix of salt water and fresh water, where you might have like crocs and I don't know. I, I'd have a minigun to like, you know, try and kill alligator. I don't know, dude. That would be something. Crossing water, that's not a thing that I've got to go through. But I thought about that too, though. Like if you're in an area where you're accessible only by bridge, or you have to cross a bridge and like an earthquake knocks out bridges, water crossing may be a very real scenario for some people. Recently at a Salvation Army, I saw an inflatable stand-up paddleboard and for 35 bucks, and I passed it up because of my cheapness, man. My cheapness causes me regret. I should have bought it. But that would be cool. But yeah, I'm an expert in my situation. And to be honest, you are an expert in your situation. And let me say something about experts, because I've got a lot of comments, not a lot. I've got some comments about you're not an expert, and we should rely on experts, right? Like if I want to know about weapons and ammunition, I want to find a weapons expert. If I won't never have to, but let's say I had to do CQB. I want to find the guy that's the best at CQB. If, you know, I want survival training, I want to go find the guy that's best at that thing. But experts aren't always right. They're just not always right. What tends to happen with experts is they get very focused on their particular field, and sometimes they get blinders. Sometimes experts are paid. We're seeing some of that in the 2A stuff out there on YouTube, where somebody's opinion and expertise may be short-sighted or worse yet, paid for. I don't want to get into the politics of COVID, but if that didn't damage I think that did a lot of damage to the average person's faith in experts. Experts are useful. We should listen to the experts, but we should treat it with a grain of salt and a healthy dose of skepticism too, like everything else, right? Experts aren't always correct. So you are an expert in your scenario. You know what you need best for yourself, right? For you, your spouse, your family. You're an expert in your area. So I think that's going to be one of the guiding themes of my channel, is that we look to everybody else for expertise, and then I think that's how we end up where we're at, with bags full of stuff that we're never going to use, or buying kit that it just has nothing to do with reality or what we're likely to face. I think that's part of why we ended up in this place. That's part of why I was inspired to make a channel, because I fell victim to that too. I watched the marketing, I watch all the videos probably everybody else watches, and I was like, here's what I need next, here's what I need next, here's what I need next. And I did all that stuff, and I have all that stuff. And here it sits in bags, and I should have bought more camping equipment to take my kids out to the woods, right? Anyway. So experts are good, not 100% of the time. You're an expert in your particular area, your scenario. I love the criticism on bug out bag or gear. Everyone's circumstance is different. No one's kit or bag can be wrong if it's tested and used. That's a great point, right? Anything we build and we assume it can work for us, you should test it. You should test it. Get home bags are easy. You have to use it to get home, right? My bike idea is tested. I've ridden that path. And I don't know if I have talked about this, if I mentioned this in that other video, but my particular scenario, there's a really great path, a paved bike path from the city to my town, which is amazing. And it's less likely to be blocked by looters, blocked by cops, blocked by... Now, the bad part, like in the winter, they don't plow it. And I know that because I rode it in the winter. So that was terrible, right? So if I had a fresh snow, then I would have to recalculate, right? And the bike I use has tires that are fat enough to go off-road or stay on a paved path. But that's really nice. Most people are not going to have that. That's almost a perfect scenario, where you have your own private path to get from point A to point B. It's like your own personal elevator. I'm with you on this one. We prep to keep our loved ones safe. Again, going back to what Bear Independent says, right? What does he say? To perpetuate normalcy. I love that. Everyone has their own scenario to deal with. Channels like yours help me learn something new. That's great. Keep your videos coming. I'm the guy in the middle. I'm not an expert in anything. In my late 60s. Yeah, I'm still here because I'm part of that curve. Let's see. This bag is well thought out. I agree. Totally agreed. We agree to disagree with all of these. Hard enough on foot. I'm traveling roads in the woods where I may be skirting, driving out. So again, geographic scenarios where roads are different and your kit should look different than mine, right? Sounds like a 3-day walk. Wow, just wow. I said in my "you don't need these" video, he says, wow, just wow. You do you. Okay, he disagrees, obviously. Weather and location determines what, yes, amen to you. My rule of thumb, carry the stuff you can't beg, borrow, or steal in a daily situation. Suggests to carry $200 in cash, 20s, 10s, and 1s, including a roll of quarters. Yeah, one $20 bill. I actually changed it based on this guy's comment. I added some smaller denominations. Finally, someone who gets it. Love that. You don't need 50 pounds of 50 pounds of gear dressed in camo going into the woods. Keep your videos coming. The problem is not you. Bro is not afraid of work. Get some. That's my chopping video. A friend of mine, a coworker, saw that wood chopping video. She called it a thirst video. I had to look that up. I was like, is that? I wasn't trying to, put out a thirst video. I was trying to show processing wood in the suburbs for heat. But hey, I don't know. Bag is almost the same. Takes me all over PA. Really no difference. Carry dollar bills and rolls of quarters for vending machines. 55 miles from home. Cities have to be the worst place to be in an SHTF situation. So I'm actually going to do a video on this. And I hate to be a contrary guy, right? It's kind of hard for me because in preparation for that video that I'm going to make about leaving the city, I think the whole idea of bugging out to the woods, which I'm also going to talk about, is based on city dangerous, woods safe. So in other words, there's crazy people in the city, and therefore, where's the farthest place we go to the woods where there are no crazy people? Number one, I don't know if that's true. That might not be true. But the whole city, even when we think back to the 2020 riots, we think about LA, we think about Minneapolis. You hear Minneapolis burned. And I thought about that statement, right? And I was like, well, if I'm going to talk about this, I should do some research and look this up. If you go to a map, you can see a map of what buildings or what businesses burned in the Minneapolis riots. And it's not the whole city. It's not the whole city. There are areas of downtown where it was concentrated, and there's a few kind of scattered. And while it's true you may not know where it's going to pop off, it's not everywhere. It's not every building. I love industrial buildings and commercial buildings. I think there's room for people to slightly bug out, to bug over into safe areas on the outskirts of the city. That's what I'm going to make a video to talk about that, because there's so much real estate and there's so many buildings and there's so many basements and rooftops, and it all just can't be abandoned. Because what's also in the city, yeah, there's crazy people there, but there's also resources in the city. And when we remove ourselves and put ourselves in the middle of the woods, you are also out of resources. You may be away from crazy people, maybe, because chances are if other people have the same idea, they're going to be there as well. But you're away from resources. You may be away from your support system. You may be away from things and stuff that you need, right? After your 72-hour bag gets you 2.5 days in the woods, what are you going to walk a day back to get bottled water? I don't know. Anyway, cities may not be the worst place. Some parts of the city, yes, but I see these buildings completely made out of brick with no doors, and I think it's entirely possible to find safe pockets in the city. And I think it's smart to do that too, because you don't have to go as far. I don't have to. Anyway, more to come on that. Someone says, if there's no safe location to go, or that you're allowed to go, what then? Do you kiss your wife and kids goodbye and hope for the best? I'm not sure if I said that. Maybe like going home. If you can't go home, where would you? Well, yeah, you'd be screwed, I guess. And if you're about to die, then yeah, you'd kiss your wife and family goodbye. Great content, great setup. Hope you do well and the channel takes off. I'm not a prepper, but have a get home bag in case of emergency. I think there's a lot of people in that area, right? In that, again, in that meaty part of the curve. Don't feed the trolls. Prepping is slightly delusional LARP hobby, and there's nothing wrong with that. Uh, my goal is to have an armory like the Mexican uncle in Terminator 2. Yeah, that'd be pretty sweet, right? So, yeah, my channel will be for the meaty part of the curve, but it's also fun to do the LARP stuff, right? I think it's valuable to maybe slightly equip yourself for some of that stuff, train in those areas, because if you have to go there, you're not going to suddenly figure that out on the fly. So I used to take a barbell approach, what's called the barbell approach to training. Like if a man has to defend his family, I used to tell people this. I used to do a lot of men's group with our church, and I tell men, you have to be able to cuddle your daughter as she falls asleep, and then violently execute an intruder who is threatening your family, inside of the same 10 seconds, maybe. It's these two opposite ends, right? That's the responsibility of a man. That's the duty of a man, is you have to be able to do both. Because if you do this and you can't do this, well, that could fail your family. If you're just this guy and you don't do this, that's also a failure, right? You have to be able to go to both ends of that barbell, at both ends of that spectrum. So you do have to train both. You have to understand both. You have to be capable of both. But maybe there's balance in the middle somewhere. But never going to appeal everyone. Yep. Prepping for 20 years. Subscribe to your channel. Thank you. Someone said thanks, but no thanks. All right. When you build a kit, it's your own preference when you're engaged. Haha. No good content. Thank you. Good point. The speed aspect. Yes. I think in a get home scenario, speed is the priority. It is the priority, and everything else should be catered to that filter, right? According to you, SHTF will only last a couple days. And if your particular scenario isn't what happens, what then? Just try and steal stuff? No. I think it would take longer than like one afternoon at your job. You're like, oh shoot, I got to get home quickly. I don't think by the time you get home that day or even the next day, it'll be like you're stealing stuff to get, maybe if you're a looter, but I'm not a looter. But SHTF, I'm going to do a video too on that acronym. I think that's screwing us up. I think we need a new acronym, because that acronym has baggage with it that makes people think they can put 50 pounds on their back and walk into the woods and make it. I think that's a problem. I think it keeps people in the middle out, and I think it's fantasy. There's more and more YouTubers talking about that. I've seen Prepared Airmen talking about it. I've seen Barrel and Hatchet. I've seen a lot of other content creators talk a little bit about that, address it openly. Grunt Proof has talked about it. So that's good. That's good. What I hope to bring to the table is maybe give us some verbiage, maybe articulate a little bit more on why it's silly or bad even for the community. So I hope to do more content on that. Appreciate your content. Keep it coming. High opinion, situational demands. That was my first video. High opinion. Not being critical. You would need water filter or a fixed blade or fire making tools. You never know what might happen in an emergency. So this guy was being nice. So I'm not criticizing him. But I hear that a lot. I even told myself when I made that video, don't say you never know or just in case. Because that's a nothing statement to put something that you already have in your bag for no apparent reason. I think sometimes you do know. I think we know. I think sometimes you do know how far you have to go. I think you do know the routes out of town. I think you do know how much water it takes to ride your bike 20 miles. I know that, right? Sometimes you do know. You are the expert in your scenario. So you never know, you never know, you never know. And if we spend all of our time on that outside of the bell curve, the tiny little tail, man, you'll never be prepared, you know? That's just me. Maybe I'm just lazy and I don't want to go there anyway. It's too much work. I don't know. Watching your video. There was a couple comments about people like going back and watching all the videos. That's amazing. Great. Perfect. I love it. Thank you. It's very flattering. I appreciate that. My wife won't even listen to me that long. This video does slay some sacred lambs when it comes to get home bags. There's definite needs, urban versus rural. That's true. Great kit. Nice to see a no-nonsense approach. People loading up with sleeping kits and cooking kits are missing the point. In an emergency, you want to get home as fast as possible. Yeah, I agree. Four-way water key, which was in my other video. So he was just watching the "You Don't Need These" video. I just want to say this is purely my opinion. Right from the start, you had my attention. A light is great. What I keep is a headlamp. Yeah, one guy talked about it being in winter. What would I do in winter? More lighting, because at the end of a work day, it's getting dark. So I would have a headlamp, maybe an extra flashlight, a warming layer, and a beanie. So a little pouch that I always put in even my EDC bag in the wintertime has a beanie and a set of warm gloves in it. Especially if you're riding your bike. You ever ridden your bike without gloves in the winter? That'll stop you in your tracks. Let's see. Sorry, but you seem to be living in a dream world. Better to have it and not need it than need it and not have it. I'm so sick of hearing that. Not if you're carrying it on your back. It's not true. Now, if you're a car kit, like a bin with all of that stuff in your car, yes, because weight doesn't matter, right? It's just, if you have the space, you can carry it in there. If you're walking with it on your back, then it is not better to have it and not need it. It's just not. Ask any hunter, ask any backpacker worth their salt who have done miles and miles and thousands of feet in elevation. Ask them. Okay, they will tell you that that's not true. It's just not true. If you have to carry it, it's just not true. Or unless you're like a Marine grunt where they force you to do it. Like those guys are carrying 90-pound packs because they have to, right? If they say no, then they go to jail. That's different, right? We're civilians. We get to choose our gear. We don't have to follow the military standard of, I don't know, a small Humvee on your back, you know? There's another one. It's better to have it, not need it, than need it, not have it. And people have quoted Mike Tyson to me too. Everybody has a plan until you get punched in the face. Yes. I love that quote. I've used that quote before. But what that implies is, so like my video says, this is the plan. But we're all planning. That's what this is. Everybody's just kind of guessing, right? We're planning for something that we don't know what's going to happen. So to say that seems like being critical of planning when that's all that all the preppers on YouTube are doing. That's all we're doing is planning. Now, is it true you should be ready to adapt? Yeah. And even my bike plan, I'm ready to walk. I have walked. I have the fitness. I have the shoes. I have all the stuff if my bike goes down. I have all the repair kits to repair my bike if it goes down. So I am prepared for plan B. It's just, I think it's dumb to make plan B your plan A, right? Your plan A should have wheels because it's going to move you faster. Remember, speed is the goal. So lots of common sense items. What would you be set up for a 40-mile trip? Brackish water. That was the one about camp stove in the city. Small folding stove, 2 years old. Spare socks, eye protection, Leatherman plus lighter. Remember, now I've done one video on all of my kit, my pockets, EDC, my work bag, my get home bag, and the bike. So I have a lighter. I did add eye protection too. I don't think I talked about that, but based on one comment, I added some clear eyeglasses for the bike. That was a good one. Like if you're riding your bike and you get like a branch in the eye, you'd being blinded while you're walking home or while you're riding home, that'd screw you up. Good job so far. I subbed. Thank you. Getting home. One guy, Oscar Lopez, he says, there's more to his name, so I didn't call him out, but worst video on bug out bags. No, it isn't. I've seen some that are definitely worse than mine. Another guy said, he goes, "You have no idea what you're talking about." And I commented, I was like, I have some ideas. I have an idea. I have some idea what I'm talking about. Again, I think giving your resume is kind of gross, but I have some idea what I'm talking about. With you on this one. Sorry about the time difference. This is the guy from Australia. Got some thrift store videos. Just found your channel. Find it very refreshing. Good information and things that make you go, appreciate it. Keep up the content. Thank you. Thanks for sharing. This guy recommends a fragrance cologne that smells like gunpowder. Yeah, paracord and gunpowder. That'd be perfect. If you live in Detroit, you need an armored car, a machine gun, a full platoon. Yeah, that's probably what I would have. And then the FEMA camps guy. That was the guy that talked about taking a screenshot of like my very first comment. I told him, I was like, hey, post it all on here, man, and I'll talk about it in this video. But I haven't seen him repost it yet. Said he had screenshots. I was like, screenshots of what? Me being a smart aleck. I've already confessed that. So, fabulous premise. How do you store your bike at work? So I'm lucky enough at my job. They have bike lockers like all over the place. And then you just talk to maintenance and they'll give you a key to it. So it's right next to my building. It's really nice. Doing great, brother. Keep it up. It says, in a world void of humility, it's just going to get worse. Thankfully, we're not validated by another's opinion, only by God. That was nice. That was a good one. Appreciate the video. And then, what are we looking at? 45 minutes? Oh, that's too long. So there was one recent one where the guy that we became besties in the last video, he said some craziness to begin with, and I tried not to be a smart aleck to him, and then he kind of calmed down, and then he just he wrote another comment. I'll see if I'll end on that one, but oh, here it is. Yeah. You say that, but delete my replies. I figured you might, so I took screenshots before you did. He thought I would delete comments on like the first thread of my first video. Why did you think that? What did I This is my arch nemesis. And his name starts with a-hole. So I'm thinking, is this a troll? Is this a professional troll? Maybe he did. I don't know. I'll have to track that guy. Maybe he'll repost. One guy said on the bag video, spoiler, the first 5 minutes is just a video of his hand touching the outside of the bag. That's true. I think in the description I said jump to 5:38 to jump the chit chat. I need to be better about that. I will click away from a video if it's 5 minutes. Like, dude, get to the point. I'm trying to be better about that. Truth is always in the middle. The middle, you don't need a pig sticker, but a useful knife is a must. I carry a pocket knife, so. Why? This was a good comment. Why carry a Faraday bag empty? Put in your radio, your flashlight, and power bank in it. If you're talking about your cell not working, right? The reason you carry a Faraday bag is probably not for spy stuff. Like, nobody's tracking you. You're not important. I'm not important. We're not special snowflakes that people are following us on the way home. So yeah, I have an empty Faraday bag in my kit. Why not put your radio and your flashlights already in there? Because it's already... That's a great comment. I am going to make that change to my bag for sure. Talk about I'm already there. Keep the content coming. No machetes. I know with mine, I carry at least 24 of them, one for each hour of the day. I like the packs you have to organize your bag. Someone carries a pick kit. Bad advice. Don't listen to this guy. This person has no idea. This is the same guy. This guy has no idea what he's talking about. So I told him, I said, I have some idea. And I also said, I think he made a third comment somewhere. And yeah, here he is. He says, I told him, I was like, hey, what's your channel so I can go visit it? Kind of being snarky. And he says, I actually have yet to post anything because I haven't made the effort to learn how to edit. But I can tell you from personal experience that everyone's situation is different. I tried to call him out a little bit, right? I have a channel. I can have an opinion. And if you have one, great. I appreciate that. But I also asked him, I was like, hey, do you have any training? Do you have any background in this? I said, I don't edit either. You should just start your channel. Just do it, right? So Maybe that was snarky. I don't know. Great setup. Someone says, what's your lunch setup? I don't really eat lunch or I'll go eat with my family. Haters in the comments reinforce how based this video is. I'm pretty sure based is good. I would like to be based. I don't know if the kids are still using that. My son doesn't use it anymore, but I think that's great if you think I'm based. Thank you. I used to be based. I used to be cool. I'm not cool anymore, but you do you. Don't suggest that you know what people need. Yeah, I'll try and stop doing that. One guy calls it a grail purifier. Oh, I called it a filter, grail filter. And he says, it's actually a grail purifier. So he doesn't even know what he has. Okay. I went to the website and I was like, which one is it? I do know the difference between a filter and a purifier. And the website calls it both. But I didn't know that. Okay, whatever. Sorry, dude. I misspoke. I'm not going to edit. So I'm going to misspeak in these videos. I'm going to say stuff that's off. So, oh well. Thanks for recently subbed. Lots of comments about the thrift store, going through the thrift store. Someone said toenail clippers? And they're fingernail clippers. I don't clip my toenails anywhere but at home. Make a video on the lockpicking kit. Yep. Oof, the big feelings of some tactical overweights in the comment section. He says, well done, Mike Tango Whiskey. You got him breathing hard. Thanks, man. A couple folks in Idaho, which is cool. Okay, we're approaching 51 minutes. That's way too long. Although, once I do these live, and if you guys are watching these this whole video, it adds to that total watch time. So if you like my channel, just let it play in the background for me. Okay, I think that gets me to that number faster. I'm dumbfounded. A JanSport. Yeah, my best EDC bag ever is a JanSport from 10 years ago. You never know what you're going to find in these thrift stores. Someone commented, no shame. Amen. I'm with you there, man. Stinky pits. I had some advice on stinky armpits. Thanks. Yeah, I pretty much got that solved, thankfully, but I thought it was a problem. I asked my coworkers, they said no, but you never know. You know, they'll never tell you. Like, that dude stinks. Watched all your videos today. Listened to them while getting work done. Good job pushing through the haters. It's incredible. You listen to I can't even listen to my voice that long. Good stuff. Great video. Growing fast. Oh, this is my nemesis, the guy that we became besties. He goes, I am one of the initial negative comment guys. I'm going to end with this one. And yes, we are besties now, because I said that in the last video. I was like, yeah. I was actually wrong in the way I communicated. Absolutely, my apologies for the lowbrow jerk style. I've since watched many of your videos and understand the context of your approach. I would recommend your overall content for anyone. I'd describe your content as the antidote for gear nerding, mindless dependence on gear. You are bringing some much needed balance and thought into this world. I wouldn't recommend you as the only channel, but certainly in the multitude of counselors. Wonderful. You have a skill and confidence for being the unpopular opinion. Sometimes it is a realistic view that's unpopular because it's not fantasy. I would lean into being the counterbalance. If there's controversy, I've seen successful YouTubers harness that with finesse and nail it. I responded, what did I tell him? I said, thanks, man. I said, do you like velociraptors? Like, I feel like me and this guy could hang out. I won't give his sign there, but it ends with 76. I was born in 75, so we're probably the same age or really close. But so good. Isn't this a success story? Like you hear terrible things about the internet and the trolls, and here we have a guy that was pretty critical right up front. I tried to respond well. I feel like I did. This guy turned. Now we're best friends, online best friends, right? Isn't that what it's about? This makes me feel good. This makes me feel good that so far I'm on the right track, and I'm doing good work, and I enjoy it. So, okay, we're at 54 minutes. Maybe I want to do this live so I can get live comments instead of going back, because the review is I end up getting lost in there, and it's a lot to review in a week. And eventually, I think if I get enough comments, I probably won't be able to respond to all of them. So I might save the hurt feelings report for the live sessions. So, but anyway, I'm going to end on this guy's great comment. I am shocked and amazed at how many people are watching and enjoying this. I am eternally grateful. It's really cool. My kids keep coming out and they're like, "How many subscribers, Dad? How many?" It's about 100 a day, give or take. My wife seems surprised. She's like, what do you mean? They've looked at it 800 times? I'm like, no, they've subscribed. She goes, no, she's not buying it. So it's really cool. I enjoy it, and I'm having fun. So I will continue to do it. I have a list. I have a list of other ideas and topics that I want to talk about. There'll be some overlap again because I'm ad-libbing this. I'm not editing. I'm not going back and cutting and making sure my words are perfect. That's If I had to do that, it would be a nightmare and it would not be fun. So I will not do that. Okay. Maybe, I don't know. I don't want to do that. But I appreciate you guys. Thank you very much. And I look forward to doing this again. This is a really fun session for me because it doesn't require like research, you know. But I'm enjoying this time and I'm repeating myself. Mike Tango Whiskey, all clear.